This is going to be the ultimate battle between an EPO and an HMO. Which one should you choose to be your health plan? We're going to go over affordability, network, benefits, everything that's needed to help you decide ultimately which one should you go with. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. All right, so first of all, you need to know what these plans actually are. So you have your EPO and you have your HMO. Your EPO is known as the Exclusive Provider Organization, and an HMO is called the Health Maintenance Organizations. Now, these are one of the 2 out of 4 inside the ACA marketplace of plan types, right? And depending on which one you choose, you either have more flexibility, more costs, or less flexibility and less costs. It's pretty much that simple. So let's start with the HMO. The HMO is kind of the most basic care out of the 4 plan types, but this video is only about the 2 plan types. So the HMO is going to have the least flexibility. And what exactly do I mean by flexibility? Well, you're generally going to have a more restrictive network, so it's going to be, smaller. And, the toughest part about an HMO is that you will need referrals to go see a specialist doctor, right? So let's say you need to get a scan done or some sort of procedure, some sort of service. Well, you now not only have to take 1 day out of the week for the primary doctor visit, but then you have to take 2 days out of the week for the specialist doctor visits. Whereas an EPO, which is slightly different, you do not need referrals with an EPO like you do an HMO, but they do share some similarities. So with both an HMO and an EPO, you are still going to need to stay inside the network of your plan because you cannot get care outside of the networks. And quickly, if you don't know what a network is, well, to be in network means you have to go to the doctors and the hospitals that are associated with your insurance companies. The only plan that you can get care out of network is with a POS plan and a PPO plan. So up on the screen here is the average health insurance rates by plan types. As you can see, PPOs are generally always going to be the most expensive, followed by the EPOs, then you have your POS plans, and then you have your HMO plans. So these are average rates for 2026. As you can see, the HMO is the cheapest. It's always going to be the cheapest generally, right? In depends on which state you are, which county you are on. EPOs are always slightly going to be a little bit more expensive. And again, it really depends on what area you are. I mean, the ACA is in pretty much every state, and every state has their own health insurance companies, right? A lot of them are not in the same states as other ones. But as far as, finding doctors and which one is going to be easier, it really depends on the health insurance company you choose. For example, Ambetter has like 4 tiers of their plans. So depending on the value plan, on the premier plan that they have, you're going to have an easier time finding a doctor, right? So usually with EPOs, it's slightly easier to find a doctor than it is with an HMO, just because you kind of can go straight to them and you're going to save that time and you're going to save that money. So overall, which one is for you? Which one is better? Well, to you out there watching right now, then you have to ask yourself a simple question, how often am I going to go use this plan? That really just depends on you. Do you have some sort of pre-existing conditions? Do you have something that you need to get taken care of? You need to get checked up on? Try and estimate, what your usage of the plan is going to be. You don't want to overpay for an EPO plan when you're going to go to the doctor maybe once or twice a year, and that's it. However, if you have maybe say diabetes, right? You want a good EPO plan and overall get, the most benefit out of that plan because you're going to have high usage. You want to invest in a better plan than someone with a low usage who's really not going to use it. Obviously, they're going to want to save as much money as possible. And real quick, you want to know what's crazy about health insurance in general? This is really just kind of the tip of the iceberg because you still have a bunch of health insurance companies to choose from. You still have your bronze, gold, silver, platinum tier catastrophic plans that go alongside with just an HMO or an EPO. So really it's pretty tricky. So what I suggest you do right now, if you've ever been looking for health insurance, you want some guidance, you need to give me a call right here, 305 970-8583. I will be looking forward to help you out because you need the best in the business, and that is me. I've helped over thousands of individuals and families get into the health coverage they need, and hopefully you out there watching are next. Just give us a call here and we will take care of you. Now, hopefully you learned something in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.